Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious Manchester, New Hampshire, and, of course, streaming at mattconnerton.com/live. And we have joining us via WhatsApp. Hopefully it's working. It was a little glitchy. That's why it took so long to get him on. I think, and I don't know if I'm saying this right, so he can correct me if I'm not. Chavi, is that you?
Yeah, that's correct.
Hey, welcome to the show, man. Hey, by the way, thank
you.
Thank you for being patient with us. Took a WhatsApp. Of course, we're doing this via WhatsApp, and it crashed on me a couple of times. I had to reopen it, but we finally got you on the line. So, you know.
Whoa, yeah. No worries.
Technology will fail us at times. Am I saying your name correctly, Chavi?
Yeah, it's Chavi. It's a Catalan name.
Gotcha. Okay. Xavi for those wondering. So that's why I wasn't sure. When I first looked at it, I thought maybe it was Xavi, like Xavier. But so I love, and by the way, because it took us a while to get WhatsApp resolved, we actually played a few of your tracks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We did. We opened with the new single, of course, We Got It All, which I love. And we played Man of the Golden Words, and then, you know, we'll play another one, of course, at the end of our conversation. But I really like what you guys are doing.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So can you tell us about the Lürxx? Because the Lürxx is, am I pronouncing that correctly, the Lürxx?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. You're adept at pronouncing all of that.
Excellent. So tell us about the band, because you guys have it's very positive. You seem to have a very specific mission, and you know, in terms of the issues that you're concerned about, you know, it's very conscious what you're doing, your music. But tell us about it.
It is. I'm here with Sunny as well, by the way. So
oh, wonderful.
They're going to help me out. Yeah, so we always say we describe our music as nature warrior, glam punk, grunge, whatever. And the nature warrior bit, that's really what we're passionate about. Like you said, it's very we're really all about connection between people and nature, and just kind of helping people to connect to their wild selves and to the nature around them, and just kind of like, I think the last song you were playing was Mustang.
Yes,
if I heard that correctly, and which is told from the point of view of a horse. So in order to kind of foster that empathy between people and humans and other beings. So that's really our main message, is one of just positive connection, because we think that, I mean, the world is so messed up at the moment, and we just think that connection, like community between people, but also between people and the natural world and all beings, that's just like the answer to so many of the problems that we have. And we just hope that with our music we can just inspire people to think along that route.
No, I love it. Is that something that's always been important to you?
Yeah, but I think we kind of wisened up to it, just how important it is, because when we started out back in the mid-90s with Black Lürxx, which is basically the first incarnation of the Lürxx, we were like 18 years old, like living on the streets of Hollywood, and we were much less aware, I think, of all of the stuff. But then one of our very first songs that we ever did with the Lürxx was called The Age of Fish, and it was an ode to evolution, and basically about how we're all equal because we all come out of like that first fish that crawled out of the water, and all life on land evolved from that. So it was basically an anti-speciesist kind of thing without us knowing that it was, but it was always there at the core of us, and we've always loved nature. And yeah,
and that song was already on our very first demo that we recorded back then in 1996. So I think Xavi is completely right that was always super important to us. But when we now really started making music again, like the center of our lives, we also really decided to take that nature message into the center of the message of our band.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I really like that, and I think, you know, I always say, whenever you can take a message that's important to you, something that you think that the world needs to hear, and you can, if you put it to music that's also very catchy and very infectious, and, you know, if you've got a song that has a great hook or something, that's really the best way to kind of transmit that message. It works with music, it works with comedy, you know, it works with other things too. Anytime that you can kind of do something that appeals to someone creatively, they're obviously going to be more open to what it is that you're trying to impart to them.
Exactly. And I think that whole like the whole positive energy that it brings is something, because I mean I'm a environmental scientist, so my day job is that I educate people about climate change and everything. And I always find that it's so powerful to just talk about things in a positive way, kind of pointing out to people the beauty that's around us and how much there's to save, rather than being all doom and gloom and saying, well, I mean, obviously things are quite doom and gloomy in many ways, but it doesn't mean that you should sit back and just kind of like lock yourself at home and just watch Netflix all day and not participate anymore. So I think that positivity, and it's something we get after our gigs. Like people literally, they come up to us after our gigs and they say like, can I hug you? You've just brought so much positivity to my evening. And I think, when you get that, you're doing something right, because that's what I think we're also all about, like really giving people that positive energy so that they have the strength to keep going.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. Absolutely. Now I'm curious about the history of the band, because the Lürxx started quite some time ago, and then there was something like a 2-decade hiatus. Is that correct? So I'm really interested in this.
Correct. Yeah. So we basically, we got to know each other when we were like 12, 13 years old, and we started making music together. And then we were we had a punk band that released a little vinyl single back in 94, I think, on like an independent label. And so we kind of had this idea of, okay, we can actually make this like our thing. Like we've got a single release now. We're just 16 years old. We already got like a single out. And we decided to just really go for it. And we did music full time for a few years, and we went to Hollywood and did the whole sort of Sunset Strip thing like 10 years too late. So the Sunset Strip was very much not happening at the time, but there was a really cool underground like glam punk scene there, which was cool. So we did that, and we kind of took it as far as we could at the time. We were at this cusp that I think many bands at some point find themselves on, where there was some interest. We had management, we had interest from a big record label, Sony Records, mm-hmm. and we had this offer for like one of these horrible development contracts where they're going to tie you up, give you no creative control over anything, and just basically try to make a quick buck.
Yeah.
And we turned that down. And that was the beginning of the end for Black Lürxx, because we just basically, after turning that offer down, we kind of looked around at our options for being an independent band, and that was back in 98, so just before like the big internet explosion happened. And the only way that we saw back then that we could make it as an independent band was basically hit the road, be on the road 280 days a year. Mm-hmm. And just kind of that's like what we saw independent bands around us do. And at that point, we had a cat. We didn't want to have that road life. We just said that's just not. We wanted to write songs and be creative, but we didn't want to live in a van. And it was just not what we were looking for. And we thought there's no other way. So it's all or nothing. And that's when the hiatus started, because we basically like, okay, if we can't do that, we don't want to be like hobby musicians who, sometimes get out their acoustic guitars, and it just didn't sit right. So that's where we said, like, and I think it was 99 or 2000 when there was some other shit happening. We actually had planned our own tour through Europe. And then our drummer got badly beaten and had to have like a metal plate put in his skull and couldn't play the drums anymore for a while. And then I was really sick and I lost my voice, and it was basically like, then we had to cancel this entire tour that we had self-organized. And at that point we were just like, yeah, right, screw it. We're done with this.
Yeah.
And then we did other stuff. But I think when you're an artist, deep down inside you can do other stuff, and we did other creative things as well. We always did our own thing, but when we kind of returned back to music a couple of years ago now, it just completely took over our lives. It was insane.
Wow.
It was like we started writing songs again, and it was just
like the floodgates.
Yeah, I know. It's like bam, bam, bang, and then and it's like, whoa, wait a second, like what's happening? And now we're basically dedicating just as much time and effort to it as we did back then with the with the small difference that we're also doing our day jobs, and we don't have to actually live off the music, which is nice because we don't have to compromise anything we do. We can just do exactly what we believe in. So that's what happened.
Well, it's wonderful, and to see that, to see it start to take off that way, and people are really interested in what you're doing. I mean, that's obviously quite validating. But you don't have, as you said, you don't have the stress of having to depend on that to make a living, because it's much harder than people realize. It's funny when you talk about the Sunset Strip and all that. It's like, back in those days, people had this idea that you sign a record deal and then you're being, you're hanging out at the Playboy Mansion and dating supermodels, and you're suddenly filthy rich, and you're living in, you're driving around in a Lamborghini and everything. And it's not how it works. It's really was never that simple.
And we were really lucky, I think, that we did the Sunset Strip thing, because we saw that happen. So we saw the dark side of these development contracts, because there were these bands on the Strip at the time that some of them actually got the record deal, and we were like, whatever, 18, 19, and it was always like, wow, they're going to be big now, like Cold Chamber, they're going to be big.
Right.
And then, they got all this money from the record company to get tattooed and pierce and like represent. And then it was one album, maybe one little hit single, and then they were just completely dropped, because all the labels did was, and I don't know if they still do this, I really don't know what that type of the industry is like now, but they were just throwing at the wall to see what sticks, and they didn't care about the bands or about their artistic development or any of that. It was very, and seeing that, I think, was one of the reasons why we turned it down when it was offered to us. I think had we not seen that before with other bands, we would have probably been like, yeah, wow, Sony Records, let's sign our lives away. Totally.
Right, exactly. Well, that brings me to another question. So in 2025, you guys, is this correct? Am I reading this right? You pulled your music from Spotify out of protest. Is that right?
We did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah. That was basically around the time when the big news was that the Spotify CEO had invested all this money into military drone technology. And we just thought, well, we're pacifists. We're all about like love and understanding, and the military drones about as far from what we want than anything could be.
Yeah.
And it was basically, that was the last drop. We were already no fans of Spotify, but when we came back, we're Gen Xers, so we came back into this digital world, and we're like, right, how do you do indie music now? So in the beginning, we just did it all. We just uploaded our music to Spotify, and we heard about that they're ripping artists off, and they're not really paying fair rates. And then they started pushing AI music and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then that military drone thing was just like, right, no, actually, we have no interest in that. So we did pull it. There's one song still on Spotify that's called "Why We're Not on Spotify." That's like our goodbye message. So if you want to check that out, the Lürxx on Spotify, one song, "Why We're Not on Spotify." It's just a demo. We didn't really bother to produce it a lot, but yeah,
that's brilliant.
It's I think it just goes again. We kind of became a bit disillusioned with this whole striving for streams and likes and numbers, which is why we actually now go back to doing radio and podcasts and really just and playing live a lot and just building this real community. Because when you're doing like on radio, for example, like talking to someone like you who clearly, like, we all have a passion for music and for music discovery and for, connecting with other people who have that passion. And I just feel like if you're just chasing streams and likes, you kind of lose that. The whole point is to make a connection. And yeah, that's why we kind of, we still got our Instagram, but we use it. We try to use it in a way that we're not trying to get like 50K followers on there, but we're trying to really know the people who follow us and just kind of like have personal conversations with them and use it as a tool to build community rather than chase numbers.
Right. And I think it's great too that you are on Bandcamp, because I'm a big, supporter of Bandcamp. What a lot of people what a lot of people don't realize about Bandcamp too is if you purchase and download music from Bandcamp, you're getting a better quality file than you are, say if you're just streaming it on YouTube or even Spotify.
Absolutely.
With Bandcamp, you get the best possible quality file that you can. And it matters, especially if you're listening with high quality headphones and everything. You want to really hear everything exactly the way that it's meant to be heard. So I'm a big fan of Bandcamp.
Yeah, they're awesome. Our new record that's coming out soon is also going to be on Bandcamp. And there's a new platform. I don't know if you've heard about Subvert.
I have not. No.
It's really brand new. They just started being open to the public, and we're part of like their founding. They had a bunch of artists that got behind them before they officially opened it up. And it's basically, the idea is that it's musician owned. And it's like it's also very much based around communities. So if you Google Subvert, it should come up. And the idea is that you get actually all of the proceeds from your sales. And I don't quite know how the back end of it works, because I'm an illiterate with these kind of things. But it's a really cool platform. It's easy to upload. You can download. It's basically like Bandcamp, but it's really owned by the musicians that are on there. So
that's great.
I think it's some kind of like a community thing.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah. So we're on there. We're on Bandcamp, and then what we also do is that through our website, you can also just download our music directly through our website as well in high quality. So we're just trying to make it as accessible as possible,
right?
Because we believe that that's one of the great boons nowadays with the internet, is that you can actually make your music accessible also to people who just cannot afford to buy music. So our music is always is free. Basically, I mean, we love it when people pay for it, because we think, it's valuable, and if people can pay for it, that's awesome. But it's the same with our merch at concerts. It's all our merch is pay if you can.
Okay.
And otherwise, we just have an honesty box, and the good thing is we don't need anyone to man our merch table, because it's all built around. Right. Like, honestly,
we always say, pay what you can, pay if you can, steal if you must.
Right.
But the cool thing is, ever since we started doing that, we're earning more with merch sales than ever before.
That's great.
And it's like it's so cool.
Yeah.
Because again, it's just about like, people are good. I trust in people. Like, most people are good people, I think. And like, they might get corrupted by the way the world is sometimes, but I think you gotta trust in people. And I really love that about the internet, and it kind of made it possible to share your art with everyone, and then people can go and support you if they wish, like in a monetary way. But the more important thing is really to get it out there and spread that positive energy.
Absolutely. So the new album, what's the album called?
It's called Exile from Mainstream.
Okay. Oh, I like that.
Because Exile on Main Street was one of our favorite albums growing up, and we always...
Album by the Rolling Stones.
Yeah. And we always wanted to have a setup like they did, because they recorded it at Keith Richards' house in southern France, in their home studio.
Yeah.
And that was always our dream. And now with thanks to digital technology, we have this home studio where we recorded it at home.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought and it's like not mainstream. It's very kind of 70s rock, almost like a bit like hard rock, stoner rock, a little bit of punk. Men of Golden Words is on there, and We Got It All is on there. And there's a lot of songs about nature and just it's kind of chill. It's kind of like a mixture of, like Mother Love Bone and Pearl Jam and the Chili Peppers, and it's a very Gen X album in a way, because that's who we are.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Yeah.
So that should be. We're doing the final mixes. Like, we're at that stage where every mix is called Final Mix 1 and then Final Mix 10, and so we're at that stage of mixing. So it should be done pretty soon. Where we just sent it over to a friend who actually that Mustang song that you played earlier, that was from our last EP.
Okay.
And all of that was mixed and mastered by our friend James Michael, who was the lead singer in 6 a.m.
Yes. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan, by the way. Yeah, love 6 a.m.
Awesome.
Yeah, James is great.
Yeah, James is awesome. He's we became friends with him a while ago, and he just when he retired, he basically took on that EP as a retirement project. He just did that for us, and we did it. Yeah, like we sent him the tracks, and he mixed them, and we worked on it together. And he's still our mixing guru. So every time we have a question, we're just messaging him on WhatsApp, like, James, can you have a listen to that? What do we do here?
Oh, that's great.
So that's awesome. It's really amazing working with him, because he's he's just a great guy, and amazing to have someone like that.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, by the way, so are you guys twins?
Sort of. I would say we're twins. We're twins. Like, apart from that, we don't have the same parents.
Oh, okay.
We self-identify as twins.
we self-identify as twins.
Okay, because I saw something online about you guys being twins, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. It's been happening to us for so many years that every time people get to know us, they're like,
"Are you twins?"
So why is that? Like, what is the dynamic there that makes people think that?
I think we just found each other in a like, it was one of these soulmate kind of things. When we met, we instantly just knew that there was a connection there that we just that we wouldn't have with anyone else. And I think it's a connection like with a twin.
Okay.
From what we've heard from twins that we've talked to, it's like you just know. We just know. We always know what we're thinking. We're so connected on this deep level, which is not. Yeah, it's just very different from other friends or from just like a partner. It's a way. It's a weird thing. It's just like it's a soulmate thing, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I sort of get that. I played in a band many years ago called My Life Crisis, and I was in the band with this guy Dave Blaze, and he was kind of like I mean, nobody ever thought we were twins, but he was kind of like my musical soulmate in that, if we would write songs together or record together, like it was there was like this intuitive thing that I've never quite had with anyone else that I had with Dave, that made it very easy to work with him.
Yeah, I think intuitive is a great word. It's just like you don't have to talk about stuff. It's just there.
Right.
It's just a connection that's just there. Yeah, and it seems to spill out because people always ask us, like, are you siblings? Are you twins? So it was always, and then we took it up. And when
our moms can't tell our voices apart on the phone.
Oh, interesting.
our own mother doesn't know who I am.
Oh, that's funny. That's great. And one other thing too. Tell me about the name, the Lürxx. Where does the name come from?
Well, that's that's the longest story. Shall I tell it? Yeah.
Tell it.
So we used to when we were like 16, 17 in our most messed up time, we had this friend who was a very, very spaced out weird guy, and he had this way of just staring off into space and saying normal words, but saying them over and over again in this way just that like turned the word hilarious. He would just say a random word, and it was just the most hilarious thing. And especially if you were stoned, it was especially hilarious.
Yeah.
And he was from Austria, so he was a German-speaking guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had this hilarious Austrian accent. And so one of the words he would say was the word Lürxx, and Lürxx that's how he would say it.
Yeah.
Is the German word for the animal newt. So we really loved that. We love newts, and we loved the way he said that word. And then we kind of made up a made up plural of it. Like if you pronounce Lürxx, like the way it's spelled is Lurch, so it's kind of like lurk.
Okay.
And then you put an S in, it would be Lürxx, would be several Lürxx. And then we added the umlaut, and the double X because we were into Nikki Sixx and Mötley Crüe.
Okay.
And it needed to be.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's why we have a newt as our band logo. And we didn't at the time realize how immensely fitting that would turn out to be, because I mean, newts are amphibians, so they kind of live in the water and on land, and we have this whole thing with water and all life coming out of the water. So actually the newt is a great like mascot animal for us. But yeah, it was a joke. It was just a druggy joke, really, with the name, and then it just stuck.
Yeah, no, I like it.
It became so meaningful over the years.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing too is with a name like that, you don't have to worry about finding out at some point in the future, oh, somebody else already has the rights to this name. They're sending us letters. You don't have to worry about it when you've got a really unique and interesting name like that.
That's true. Yeah, it's always like it's in times now where people always want to Google you. You just have to make sure they know how to spell it.
Right.
But
right.
No, it's but actually it's funny because our current mascot animal actually ended up being a pink bunny rather than the newt. So we kind of switched animal mascots now, because we did this video to Man of Golden Words, and it features a stop motion animation of this pink toy bunny.
Okay.
And then I have a leather jacket that has a big like a bunny on the back, a nature warrior bunny.
Yeah.
So now we actually like
we're a bit of
a bunny band now. That just kind of happened.
That's awesome. Very good, very good. So where's the best place to go online for people to keep up with everything that you guys are doing, with everything, all things the Lürxx? Where should people go?
Our website. So we're at www.the-lurxx.com. There's all our music is on there. There's like a biography thing. You can deep dive into our history. And then we're pretty active on Instagram at the Lürxx, just in one word.
Okay.
The Lurxx.
And of course, we got a lot of beautiful music videos on YouTube.
You do. I was checking them out. Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys do those yourselves? Is that DIY, or do you have someone who works with you on the videos?
That's all DIY.
Excellent. You guys are doing a great job with that. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, not everyone can pull that off. So in a moment, we'll let you guys go in a moment, and we'll wrap up. But I do want to play again. We played it earlier, but it is, of course, the current single, "We Got It All." What should we know about this track? Love this song.
It's an ancient song. We
Really?
wrote that song when we were 16.
Wow.
In our punk, we're our first punk band, and we've always loved it, and we never got around to recording it. And the only new part of that song is the middle bit with the compass of compassion. Follow the compass of compassion. We added that in, but it's basically always been as it is. It's an anti-capitalist, anti-normative society song, where it's basically saying, ain't it true that confusion is better than compromise? Like, don't go compromising who you are. Mm-hmm. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to be like not a straightforward being. It's okay to, question things and change your mind, but don't try to compromise your ideals and your dreams just so you fit in, because people always want to kind of make you believe that everything has to be straightforward, and if you deviate from that, you're somehow deficient. But we're saying that deficiency, that's what makes you human.
Right.
And so that's really the core, and then just follow your inner compass of love and empathy and compassion and connection, and then you'll be all right. Then you'll have it all.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Very, very positive, and it's a great song. And I love what you guys are doing. We will definitely do this again in the future, especially it sounds like you got some new music coming up. So
absolutely.
Let's stay in touch. We'll definitely have you back on. Guys, thank you both so much. The Lürxx, we'll talk to you again soon. All right, take care, guys.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
You got it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, the Lürxx. They are not twins, it turns out, but they are very close to it. And I really enjoyed talking with them. I look forward to having them back. And as I said, they do have some new music coming up that they talked about. So we'll have an easy excuse to have them back in the very near future. But in the meantime, let's give this a spin. We did play it earlier, but this is the current single, and I like this a lot. It's catchy. This is called "We Got It All."